Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Big Akra Ahmed and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be about freedom of speech in the United States of America. That is one of our amendment rights. That is something that we were promised from the beginning of time, from the beginning of the creation of this country. And it's something that has been slowly stripped away from us over the last couple of years, especially with the internet, especially with all of the monetization and monitoring that goes on online. This is something that is very, very important that we should speak about, that we should talk about. And with my channel specifically, I try not to go super overboard talking about specific things, because I do know that once you start talking about specific things, the government puts a target on your back. They completely just put a target on your back. They flag you, and they will watch for anything that they could possibly do to come get you, to be completely honest with you. They're waiting for you to make that one mistake, that one move, that one wrong step. And I find that to be a shame, especially as an American citizen, someone who's born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I find that to be very, very gross, very distasteful from a government that decided to give us these rights in the first place. And we have these specific rights and these specific constitutional rights, not even to protect ourselves from our citizens. They are to protect ourselves from our own government. We are a democracy. We, the people, we are the ones who should be running things. We are the ones that should be determining things. And it doesn't seem like we're determining anything at all in the last 10 or so years, even more than that. But growing up, I've seen my rights completely stripped away from me, taken away from me. I've been told I can't say certain things. I can't go certain places. I can't do certain things. And it's completely breach of the Constitution. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch this clip of this woman who was greeted by the FBI at her door for posting a Facebook post, and then we'll talk about this in just a second.
Conversation with you about some social media posts that you've made. Would you be willing to talk to us today about that?
No, I would not. I would like you to later talk on with my lawyer. Honestly, I'm very shocked. As a person that's traveled the world, what makes me unique in any country that I go to is that I'm an American. In America, we uphold freedom of speech. We don't have thought policing. It made me feel unsafe in my own home.
Facebook gave us a couple screenshots of your accounts.
Okay, so we no longer live in a free country and we can't say what we want?
No, we totally do. That's why we're not here to arrest you or anything like that.
Well, you can't arrest me for freedom of speech. We live in America.
Right.
What I thought, honestly, during the interaction was, what a misallocation of tax dollars. All I've done is exercise my right as an American.
Yeah, it is a very, very, very horrible way to spend your tax dollars, right? I'm an American citizen. I have all these rights. I'm protected by the Constitution, and I pay taxes every single year. Actually, way too many taxes, in my opinion. And you guys are just going to come to my door and harass me? Like, don't you have better things to do? Don't you have, like, roads to fix? Don't you have, like, wars to fund with my tax dollars? You know? Don't you have jails to keep, you know, people with small misdemeanors locked up with my tax dollars? You know, with my tax dollars, don't you pay, like, the police force and the teachers of this whole entire country, the people who are supposed to be educating our children? Don't you pay them, like, minimum wage and pay them dog poop nothing? And then make sure the politicians are becoming rich, multi-billionaires, not even millionaires, billionaires. Like, I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and if you guys don't know who Kwame Kilpatrick is, he was the mayor of Detroit, and he stole billions of dollars. Quite literally billions, if I'm not mistaken. He went to jail for like a couple of years, got out, and now he's living in a mansion in Texas. So this is what happens, and then, you know, you might have a friend in Detroit who gets arrested because he had a couple ounces of marijuana in his car, and he's in jail for 5-10 years for a couple ounces of marijuana. It's actually ridiculous. It's actually disgusting to think that we live in a free country. That's a joke. That's something that is literally a joke. It's laughable. It's comedic. We do not live in a free country. We live in a very, very, very provisioned country. They give you rights so that you dance on a line, and then once you cross the line too much, they come get you. And they use the laws and they use the regulations against you in a way, and they'll always find a way. Even if you have the cleanest record on the world, they'll find a way. They'll pin you for something. They'll make up a story on you. And people will believe it, especially nowadays. People will believe it. Like if FBI came to my door and came and arrested me and took me down to a facility and hung me upside down and did whatever the hell they wanted to do with me, what would any of my followers do? What would my family do? What would anyone do? After what, just a couple months, everyone would forget I even exist. I'd be another lost person in the dust. You know what I mean? So there's nothing that anyone is really going to do about this. And the government knows this. The government really does know this. And the more that people stop caring, the more that people stop defending their constitutional rights, the more that these things are going to happen right here.
Citizen on a public social media platform with my personal opinions. Correct? Okay. What a waste of time for the FBI when there are actual criminals committing crimes.
We do this every day, all day long, talk to people.
Okay.
Really, it's just an effort to keep everybody safe, make sure that nobody has any ill will or bad intent or anything.
Make sure nobody has any ill will or bad intent. Yeah, that's your job, buddy. You know what's funny is if someone like sent a death threat to my house, like, hey, I'm going to blow up your house and I'm going to kill your family and I'm going to shoot you or whatever the case may be. They gave me all of these death threats, right? And I go to the police and I tell them, hey, yo, this guy just threatened to blow up my house and kill my family. You know what they're going to say to me? We can't do anything about it. No one committed a crime yet. Wait until they blow your house up and kill your family and then come back and talk to us. But you know what's funny is this lady posts a Facebook post speaking her political views and they're at her door ready to question her, make sure she has no bad intent, ill will. The FBI. Where is the lowest version of the FBI when someone's literally threatened to kill my family? They're nowhere to be seen. They tell me, oh, wait till they come and shoot your mom and then come report your mom got shot. That's what they tell you. Wait until it's too late. But it's funny that the FBI's really ahead on this Muslim lady here. I wonder what this lady's going to do, right? I wonder how crazy this woman is, you know? I wonder how dangerous this woman must be, you know? But people like Hillary Clinton, they're not dangerous. No. Funding billions and billions and billions of dollars in and out. Funding terrorist groups in the Middle East. She's not dangerous. Massive liar. Her husband was previous president. There's people like that are walking around no problem. They'll never go to jail. They'll continue to suck billions of dollars. They'll continue to operate illegal operations behind the scenes that personally I don't want to talk about. There's a lot of things I don't want to talk about because this happens quite literally. And if I talk too far deep into things, things like this will definitely happen, and I will definitely be watched. As if I'm not being watched already, I am already being watched, and that's perfectly fine. I could be watched all they want to watch me. I'm gonna be watched anyways. I'm not someone that's gonna sit and hide in my bedroom. Now, is there a line that I don't cross, especially when it comes to YouTube? Yes, 100%. YouTube is a completely censored platform. It's something that doesn't even let me comment specific posts or specific words. When you talk about these shots, when you talk about the pandemic, when you talk about anything of any nature, like what happened during World War II and that genocide, and you get these info cards underneath that give you a completely different narrative, that give you, oh, this is a fact sheet. Don't trust the video you're watching. Here's the real facts from Wikipedia. So I understand this as well. They shadow ban videos. They do all of these things, and everything is heavily censored. So I'm very careful on what I speak about. Now, I create long-form content because I want to engage with people that have long attention spans. I don't want to engage with people that are fast scrollers, people who are just like zing, 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 zing. Because those people don't retain information very well. They're on with something and then on to the next thing. I like making long-form content between 10 minutes to 30 minutes because the people who do watch my videos care to engage. They're personal free thinkers. They're people who think for their self. They analyze things from an educational and analytical standpoint. So when we talk about specific subjects, even if I don't get too deep into them, they might go ahead and get very deep into them because that is the type of person they are. You wouldn't be watching my 20, 30-minute video if you weren't an analytical person. So if you're analyzing my whole entire video, then you're the type of person that might say, hey, this guy's making some good points. Yeah, he might have not described everything to me and given me and spoon-fed me all the information. But hey, let me go do some research myself because I'm an analytical person and I'm someone who cares about educating myself on specific subjects. A lot of you guys that come here and come speak down below, God bless every single one of you for coming here and educating me myself. That is the type of community that I want. I want a community that is willing to have long attention spans, free think, have an educational and analytical analysis when it comes to a lot of different things. So that way we can speak to each other and bounce off information from each other. But I definitely don't cross specific lines. I don't just wake up in the morning and like, I want to be Martin Luther King Jr. I want a bullet in my head. No, that's the last thing that I am trying to do. But if I can talk about certain subjects, bring people closer to God, and build a community of people who enjoy longer form content, then I feel like even just talking about specific subjects and staying before that line will cause those people to go ahead and do the research for themselves, find things out for themselves, and that's what I want to do. I don't want to be a big whistleblower, but at the same time, I just want to engage with people on specific subjects and get their minds moving, right? I don't need to spoon feed you everything. If you are smart, if you're analytical and educational person yourself, you'll do that for yourself. That's all I want to do is kind of wake up that sprout in your mind a little bit so that you go ahead and take the next step for yourself. Yeah.
Anything like that. And we've got no reason to believe necessarily that that's you, and that's why we just wanted to have a conversation.
So do you have a conversation with everybody on the neighborhood? My platform is simply to speak up for the voiceless, to bring attention to a very important issue, so that parents understand this is happening to someone else's child. So you have concerns about my personal opinions?
If you don't want to talk to us, then you can
I'm definitely not going to have a talk with you.
Well, thank you for your time this morning, and feel free to reach out to us.
Okay, there's so-called FBI. Fellow Americans, do not be intimidated. We have a constitution. We have free speech. You must be an advocate for yourself and those who can't be advocates for themselves. This is Rola Abdel Jawad in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This is America.
But you have the absolute right to refuse to speak to them, especially without a lawyer. The reality is the FBI has disproportionately targeted American Muslims. We have statistically much lower rates of crime, and yet the FBI spends way too much effort and resources targeting the American Muslim community.
So you said
Yeah, pretty much. As a Muslim American, I never understood, especially as a child, going to school, being called names like Osama's nephew or you know, Osama's my uncle, and all these crazy stuff, you know, Bin Laden. I never really understood why I didn't have the same freedom of speech as everyone else that was sitting around me, right? And seeing over the last 20 years of my life, seeing my freedoms slowly go away, and them trying to trick us into thinking racism is at an all-time low and division's at an all-time low. Yeah, maybe that white guy doesn't care if you're black and that black guy doesn't care if you're Asian. Maybe. But guess what? The black guy and the black guy are arguing over financial things, about sexuality, about politics, about all types of things. I've never seen people so divided in my life. Why do they care if blacks and whites are divided? They don't need to do that. When blacks and blacks are divided, whites and whites are divided, Arabs and Arabs are divided. Everyone's divided. Christians and Christians are divided. Muslims and Muslims are divided. They don't need Muslims and Christians to argue with each other. They don't need blacks and whites to argue with each other. They don't need Democrats and Republicans to argue with each other. Democrats and Democrats will argue with each other. Republicans and Republicans will not argue with each other. Blacks and blacks will not argue with each other. To the point of killing themselves, killing each other. It's getting very bad out here, guys. And I'm making this point in specific because they make everything seem like it's getting better, right? Oh, gay pride, cut your pee off and be a tranny, you can do this and you can do that, and you can wear what you want, take your titties out. But God forbid you make a Facebook post about the war that's going on. No freedom of speech for you, you know? So God bless. Cut your genitals off, but don't speak about anything else. Be very, very careful. Don't cross that line, or the FBI will show up knocking at your door. You know, I think that it's ridiculous, and like I said before, I'm trying to be very, very careful on some of the things and a lot of the things I actually speak about up here. I'd rather people call a lot of the stuff I say conspiracy theories, and I try not to get into too many of those conspiracy theories. And the reason is because I have nothing to really prove, right? If I'm going to open a subject about something, I'm not going to get incredibly deep into it. I might beat around that bush a little bit. I might give enough information to make you understand what's happening is actually somewhat true. It's true, you know? And you should look into that for yourself. But I don't want to get too deep into specific subjects or things like this are going to specifically happen. And once they take me and they take me to some facility and they hide me out, no one's coming to look for me. No one's coming back for me. No one's going to do anything about it. And my YouTube channel is going to go to dust. My bedroom here is going to go to dust. And we only got one life, guys. And governments are governments. I'm sorry. I don't care what kind of magical, theory that they put in people's head. Hey, we live in a free country. You can say what you want. You can do what you want. It's all a charade. It's all shenanigans. It's all a lie. I mean, if you go ahead and look at my comments, you'll see Muslims arguing with Muslims. Like I said, Christians arguing with Christians. You'll see the difference in people's character. You'll see the difference in people's mindset. You'll see a lot of people won't even watch my video. They'll just come and comment because their attention span is the size of a squirrel. And that's fine. That's more than fine. You're not the person that I'm looking for. You're not the person that I'm engaging with. You're not the person that's going to teach me something, or I'm going to teach you something, And that's why, like I said before, I've created this channel. I've created this channel to create long-form content, to engage with people specifically who want to learn, who want to engage, who want to teach me, who want me to teach them, and people who have long attention spans, who are willing to go and deep dive into specific subjects and look deeper than the surface level of things and not just scroll, and gain 500 videos of information in 20 minutes and then think I'm some scholar that's been studying for 35 years. Everyone is a scholar nowadays. I find it very, very interesting. They come into these videos, they come to these comment sections all over the internet. Everyone's a scholar. Everyone knows exactly what they're talking about. It's their way or the highway, guys. And that's very, 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 very dangerous, especially in a country where freedom of speech is a thing. This is very, very dangerous. Thank you guys so much for coming in today. God bless every single one of you. Thank you once again for sticking with me. We're at somewhere around like 780 subscribers, which is incredible. I think over the last week to 2 weeks, we've gained about 80 subscribers, which is incredible. I noticed the support. I've been having amazing conversations with a lot of people that have been coming into the comment section, and thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may God Almighty bless every single one of you and guide every single one of us to the straight path. May He protect us. May He protect our families. May He keep us healthy and happy. And yeah, thank you guys, and peace out. Free Palestine.